why is it, do you think, that even in holistic health and all these others, drainage isn't utilized fully yet?
I actually think about this a lot myself, and kind of seeing how your dad and the clinic, it's really been this kind of foundational core piece that he's just always been kind of drilling in, and it never hit me. Even I've been guilty of it too. I've always been guilty of trying the next hottest, flashiest thing to help with this symptom or that manage that symptom. And your dad was always like, no, that's wrong. We need to be working on the foundations of health. We're not trying to manage patients' symptoms for the rest of their life. We're trying to heal patients. And how do we heal them? We remove the obstacles to cure. What is the major obstacle to cure in our current society? Is high toxic load. It's the increasing toxic load that's happening every year. We're getting exposed to more and more chemicals. And not only that, but biotoxin exposure as well. So we have biotoxins from mold, biotoxins from Lyme. A lot of the issues with Lyme or chronic Lyme patients isn't actually the Lyme bacteria. They've gone through multiple rounds of antibiotics. There's no physical traces of bacteria left in their body, but they have this accumulation of biotoxin that it was stored in the extracellular matrix, stored in their joints, stored in their body, stored in the brain, and never actually detoxified. And so they're having these constant symptoms, and they're wondering what's going on. What's going on? And we come in, we detoxify them, they get better. It's a miracle. So it really is, I don't know why other practitioners, I think it's a lack of understanding. I think it's a lack of exposure. Your dad is, European. He's been to Europe. He's been to all these clinics where in Europe, they do this all the time. This makes total sense to them. All these famous Paracelsus and Albert, or all the clinics, Alpstein Clinic, they use this, and it's obviously it makes sense to them, and that's how they get their results. And your dad's trained with them, he's worked with them, he's brought that over here, and really in a high integrity way, kept that model, where it hasn't diluted that model with kind of the functional medicine kind of framework, which really kind of is all about the hottest, flashiest thing that we can do to suppress symptoms. We're working with symptoms. Patients want to get patients better, and it works. Patients do get better. They're symptomatically for the moment. Their symptoms are gone. They think they're fine. They think they're healed. And then a couple of years later, something else pops up. And a couple of years later, now they have cancer. And like, what happened? I didn't know why didn't this work? Because we never really addressed these foundations. And unfortunately, even in the naturopathic world, in naturopathic school, we're taught to treat the root causes, treat the foundations. But the messaging around that's been a little bit lost and a little bit muddled. And how to do that properly, how to do that correctly, was lost kind of in the fray, in the complexity of dealing with patients with symptoms. And wanting to, I think the other thing is, when you see a patient come to you and they have these symptoms, you want to be compassionate. You want to say, okay, I'll give you something to stop this symptom. I want to give you something to block that, to do this. And they're on all this stuff. Then it's like, actually, we need to go back to take a step back and really kind of treat your underlying cause. And it's going to take a long time, and it's going to really work on treating the foundation. It's kind of hard to do that once you're already managing those symptoms. Once you're getting into the cycle of symptom management, it's hard to stop and say, okay, now we're going to go back and treat the root cause and get you better. And then so you never have to see me again. That's a tough sell to practitioners. It's a tough sell to the public. It's a tough sell as a concept. So, it's not surprising that it's not as well known as it should be. But hopefully, with more and more awareness, more and more exposure, people are going to become more and more aware of this type of medicine. And I'm hopeful for the future.
Yeah, that whole term, like root cause medicine, like finding the underlying cause of why you're ill and everything. I think, it is the future of medicine, as is personalized energy medicine, all of that. There's so many different paths that lead us to this, but at the same time, it's a marketing term in many ways. It is just an ability to sound good because, of course, you want to get to the root cause. Like everyone should want that. I think even conventional medicine will say that. Yeah, we're getting at the root cause. It's like, well, it's your genes. We can't change those, but we'll address the root cause of your symptom is your root cause, you could say. It's not, but that's what they'll say. And then we program the patient to say success is me feeling good. So yes, if I start to feel worse, you're not doing your job. And as we just spoke, detoxification and drainage will make you feel worse, right? killing off of anything and then trying to push it out first will make you feel, going through antimicrobials may and possibly will make you feel worse. And then you start to doubt, well, this didn't happen at my last doctor who was giving me stuff that made me feel better and suppressing my symptoms, but never addressing the root cause. And there's always like, how far are you going? You could say the root cause is low magnesium, but I could say, well, why? The root cause is below that, many levels oftentimes. So I think, medicine as a whole has not yet defined these things very well. And I don't know if we will. I do know that success, as we've been able to see it on our side of things, is someone that's truly healed. It's not someone that's managing it. It's my beef with the Lyme world in general is that there's too many people out there being like, you're just going to have to live with it, but you'll live somewhat better with it. It will be sometimes very okay, and you won't even know you have it, but there's no real getting rid of it. We know that's bullshit. I don't like that. That's not truly getting at the root cause either. And there's so much complexity to that whole thing of, well, are you truly addressing it? Is it ever really gone? Everyone's different, but I do think that's part of the problem why you're not seeing drainage here, because it doesn't address it in the way we're used to, is like, all right, symptom relief, root cause as far as, hey, it's just a toxin, we need to get rid of it. Instead of saying, well, how do we get rid of it? Let's go deeper and have your body get rid of it, not you go in and get rid of it.